Edmonton Oilers getting a win on their 4-game road trip through the New York area in overtime, 2-1 over the Islanders. Leon Draisaitl plays the hero tonight. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show live on location at Boston Pizza Westgate. A raucous Boston Pizza Westgate. Tom Gazzola, Reed Wilkins live on location. HernanSalas back at EST Global HQ. Matt Kassian will be joining us shortly. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as always and let us know your thoughts. Of course, you can hit that thumbs up because we'd appreciate it very, very much. A lot to go over as they kind of exercise a few demons, I would say. Of course, before we dive in, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Reed Wilkins, we've got you till Cass shows up. Let's dive right in. They get the win. They had a lead. They don't score a lot of goals. Are we happy? Is there satisfaction? How do you look at this?
I think any points are valuable at this point in the season. I don't want to critique a win too much, especially I do think they were the better team tonight.
Yeah.
Lack of finish, and then Sorokin, especially in the first period, kept the Islanders in the game.
Yes.
So, but yeah, they just cannot score. I mean, Connor Brown driving the net, and I know it went off his leg, but not even getting a bounce. Yeah, McDavid, a couple close calls in the third period, can't cash them in. And then we've talked about the Oilers trying to just funnel pucks to the net. Nuge tries to do that, and it turns into a 2-on-1 the other way. But I think the Oilers played well. You just hope that they can take something out of this and say, okay, we kept the goals against to 1.
True.
And eventually we found a way to win, thanks to the same guy who always scores. And I think, Tom, in the context of how subpar or outright poorly a lot of the other offensive players are doing, it makes Leon's offensive season even more spectacular. Like this is one of the best goal-scoring seasons I've seen with the Oilers, when you consider it's almost all him. Like, he scores almost every game.
He is their offensive engine this season.
Yes.
Without question. Kudos to Connor McDavid. He's had a very good year, but it's not McDavid-esque. And without Leon Draisaitl, this team, I don't know where it's at, but a crucial 2 points. There will be detractors. There will be people saying they should have won that game 3-4-1. Like you said, they can't seem to score. So how much positivity, how much good juju comes out of this? Because we're at the point now where it's like 5 wins in their last 10 going into tonight, 3-7 in their last, 5 wins in their last 15, 3-7 in their last 10. And you're just like, go do something good. And they get the result.
Yeah, I think from a perspective of the team, hopefully it's all positive. Hopefully, like I always say, figure it out. They figured it out. Like they I know their regulation record is not good, and that is concerning.
Yes.
But I think given just how miserable it's been, okay, a building or a city, I guess, because they've played in 3 different arenas, an island they usually don't play well on.
True.
Just take that you won and that you stuck with it, and that even though you gave up a lead in the third period and then couldn't score when you had an injured Islander and an Islander without the stick on in overtime. Like, I thought that game was going to end then, that you still stayed with it and got it done. And I think we have to point out Calvin Pickard, who I thought his rebound control was very good. I mean, he got beat by Horvat, who can shoot the puck on a 2-on-1.
Great shot.
I thought his rebound control was very good. I thought he was very composed, and he made a Mike Smith-esque play in overtime. Like, that reminded me of the play Smith to McDavid in San Jose almost exactly 3 years ago, I want to say.
Put it down and
not quite the same, but very close to that. And so, Pickard comes through with the win and gets an assist on the game-winning goal. So I'm at the point here, just take the win and now try to build on it, because it's been so hard to get big goals and get wins lately. Just hope this is something they can say, okay, we held it together, we kept them to 1, and yes, we needed our big guy, and the other guys just have to keep chipping away, going to that and chipping away. And they did a better job everybody, especially in the first period, I thought getting pucks and people to the net.
Lots of shots. You talk about that. We're talking about it on the station all day long. Simplicity, funneling pucks. They still can't score. Let's bring in HernanSalas, the Latino Heat. Nancito back at EST HQ. There's good in the win, like Reed said, and I'm on board with everything he said. But at the same time, how is this team only scoring 1-2 goals a night? Like, this is not how it should be with offensive weapons at this point in the season on this roster.
I agree with Reed where you don't critique a win, especially where the Oilers are at this point, struggling mightily. But yeah, you got to be a little bit concerned. I mean, overtime's overtime. Draisaitl gets, sprung wide open. He's going to finish that more often than not. But only one goal. The goalie gains was a bad look again, like Reed alluded to the news, and then it's a 2-on-1 once again. Pickert's a bright spot, but you got to be worried. And listen, he stuck with the lines longer than I thought he would. But in the third line, once again, he went nuclear. Didn't work, but it worked in overtime because McDavid and Draisaitl are brilliant. But and again, guys, like the Oilers were the better team, but this Islanders team, like I looked at it on paper and I was like, they're not good. And today,
no, they're not.
They're not a good. I'm going home. See you later, Hernan. They're not a good.
There's Dusty.
Like, sorry guys, this is the team the Oilers should be, and they're not a very good team. And again, it's concerning that they can't score, but. Two points is 2 points, guys, and especially the way this team's been going. Like, we'll take it and we'll be okay with it, but they're going to need a lot more going forward. I didn't mind the lines today. Like when we first looked at them, Tom, we both looked at each other and we're like, "What are they doing?" It didn't look too bad. It didn't. I mean, Sorokin's a hell of a goaltender. The Islanders are feisty. Like they have a lot of heart, and that's what keeps them in games. But again, I think the Oilers, if you watch this game, they were far superior. They just couldn't find the back of the net. But kudos to them for finding the 2 points. And, I mean, at the end of the day, it's 2 points, and that's all that matters.
I want to say, Reed and Hernan, that they're saving goals for the playoffs, but I don't watch them and go, boy, that's a dangerous offensive team anymore. I really don't.
No, I know what you mean. I guess I'm always hopeful. Okay, I'll say this. They had a lot of chances in Buffalo.
Yes.
They didn't. I didn't think the chance quality was good against New Jersey.
No.
I thought it was pretty good tonight. And I do believe there are bounces in hockey. So I would just hope within the next couple of games that if they keep going to the net, they eventually get rewarded with something that goes in off a skate or an elbow or a knee. Or one of those rebounds finds the way past the goaltender as opposed to spinning off a stick or something like that. That's what I hope. I think that they did things better in the offensive zone today. Now, also, it was the Islanders, who aren't as good.
No, they're not.
But I do think the offense can even out a little bit if they can keep getting pucks and people to the net.
How much confidence should fans have in this group right now after a win like that? Overall, does this instill a lot of confidence?
No.
That's essentially.
No, but yeah, I just am now thinking like, okay, you can't change February.
February.
Try to build, and the first half of this month, try to build so your game and mental state is in a better state on April 18th or whatever the first day of the playoffs is. I mean, first you got to get in. Like this is like I've been saying, like if they keep playing 357 hockey, they might not get in. So this was great to get the 2 points tonight. I believe Calgary is playing, so it's better if it's better if Colorado wins.
Thank you.
It's better if Calgary and Vancouver keep losing, and St. Louis and Utah for that matter.
I can't believe we have to say that, though, Reed, at this point.
I know, but that's the thing. And, I mean, I guess you leapfrog Los Angeles for the time being. But, it's been a very discouraging 6 weeks. But you got to try to salvage it in the last month and get some habits and performance and execution back. Yeah. And hopefully get Ekholm back and then maybe see if Frederick changes the dynamic of the bottom six as well. That's my hope, to bring back some confidence, because this has been a really extended slump here.
Rick,
go ahead, Hernan.
I was just going to say, Reed, Tom Katz is also waiting, just so he can hear it. I just don't want to leave him out. I mean, but we did see a lot of good things today. We didn't see a lot of odd man rushes outside of the goal, right? And you saw these guys compete a lot harder, go to the net. I mean, Sorokin was pretty good. Picker was excellent on the night. So there was some positives tonight outside of just the result, right? Like you saw a team that was more engaged with the new lines, and you saw a lot of guys going. And just look at the shot totals after the first period, right, boys? It was quite the difference. So it was unfortunate that they couldn't find the goal. But for me, I take, like, last night the Oilers weren't terrible. They had some lapses for sure, but I thought tonight they were a lot more complete.
There goes my dad and my mom. Reno and Eva, good to see you guys.
I love you.
Oh, my mom loves Reed. My mom loves Reed, and everybody does. Okay. Reed, tonight, the vibe in here really quickly before we go to Cass. How would you describe how everything went here at BP Westgate?
Well, this is a great location. Their hospitality is great to us. And all the people that come in, and so many nasties were here, and I met some new people, including I suck at picking, visually better from Twitter, who's very funny.
Yes.
So I was pleased to meet. At least this is an awesome spot. Hopefully people can come watch a game here, whether we're here or not, because they do a bang-up job.
We're here on the 26th for lunch on Oil Stream, and then we're back again the next day on the 27th, and hopefully Cass, who I know wants to come down, will be here as well. Reed, thanks for doing this.
Okay, see you, Tom.
Always a pleasure, my friend. That is Reed Wilkins. He is the fantastic, awesome, and absolutely a beauty, and we're so glad to have Reed with us. Thanks, big boy. As we bring in Matt Kassian for the breakdown, brought to you as always by South Fort Chev. Don't worry, Nats, I'll move in the frame for the shot. For those watching on YouTube, we are officially in Truck Month, which comes with deeper discounts and lower interest rates on Silverados and HDs. 0% for up to 72 months on Silverado Custom and Custom Trail Boss. The Silverado is built in Canada. That matters, of course. 90-day payment deferral or $10K cash back with the purchase of a new vehicle. Conditions do apply. See dealer for details. www.southportchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot. It is the breakdown with Matt Kassian. Cass, we're talking about a win, man. Maybe it's you being good luck. We just need you here all the time on location. I know you want to make it out for it on location. We're back here on the 27th, but they won. Was it a textbook win? No, but they got it. So what were your first impressions of tonight's 2 points that the Oilers picked up?
Being able to finish on chances again, not that they had as many posts as they did against Buffalo, but it kind of got me nervous. And the longer the game went, the more nervous I became. So it's good that they got the win ultimately. I didn't like, again, in the third period, with a 1-goal lead, you have a turnover at the blue line that almost absolutely guts you. Again, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins making a play to the middle of the ice that ends up in the back of your net. So it's like they almost do it to themselves again. Almost. Fortunately, they are able to pull that one out and win in overtime, and you're not disappointed, I guess, about giving the Islanders the loser point. So you're happy you win. You needed to get a win on this road trip. I'm still feeling uncertain, guys, even after seeing the way that they won that one, because it wasn't like they were dominant, right? Like they were better, but they weren't dominant.
But Cass, that the other, in all the respect to the players there, but the Islanders are not a very good team, and let's be honest, like they don't have a lot of offense either. I mean, their top defensive Noah Dobson's having an off year. Like Sorokin's an absolute stud. But Cass, I guess I'll ask you this. Listen, the top players on every team play a lot. They play more than anyone. We all know that. But again, Connor and Leon were over 24 minutes, close to 25. Is this sustainable? And we all know these guys are freak athletes and they're in great shape and they do it game in and game out. But there's something to be said that if they continue to play 25 minutes a night, it might hurt them a bit come round one in the playoffs.
Hernan, of course it does. It's massive. Like you can't play forward as 25 to 28 minutes a night. You can't do it. Like every once in a while, sure. But to do it night in and night out, to do it back-to-back games with travel, even though it wasn't crazy long travel.
True.
Like it's too much. It's too much of an ask. You cannot be relying on them that much. Like it does not work. I'd be interested to see, because I haven't seen that. What teams in the playoffs, like from a forward standpoint, defensemen are different. Playing defenseman 25 minutes a night, that's different. But for forwards, I would be interested to see, the last 5 or 6 playoffs, the Stanley Cup winning team, the average minutes of those guys in the playoffs. Like some of that probably skewed a little bit because of overtime and the extent or length of some of those games. But I'd be interested to see. It's regardless, you run the risk of injury, fatigue, of all sorts of negative things happening. Like in a perfect world down the stretch here, you're able to play everybody, have everybody involved. Those guys don't get over 20 minutes a night. They can be at that 17, 18 minutes. That would be ideal. But the way the Oilers are playing right now, it's not something that they can really do. Like you can't necessarily do that, and now you put yourself in a position where it's not like you're comfortably in first in the division. You're not comfortably third in the division at this point, even with a win tonight. So yeah, it's a definite issue and something that they're going to have to navigate, and Knobloch's going to have to navigate, knowing that he throws to that nuclear option all the time, as you mentioned earlier on the show already. Took him a little longer than maybe we thought it would tonight, but he does get there.
Text us 780-218-9999. The Oilers win 2-1 in overtime over the Islanders, and they're not scoring a ton, I know, but I think we're at a point, unfortunately, 16 games left now, where you're just like, okay, just win, stay ahead of the Kings. They leapfrog the Kings, like Reed was talking about when he was here earlier, and build it back up again. And they have a short runway to do so, but at least they have that opportunity to make it happen. So I'm going to rattle off the turning point of the game, brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, because at Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, we treat you like the pros. Our multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. If you have a nagging pain you'd like to see go away, book your consultation today at www.advantagesportsmed.ca. I'm going to keep it very simple tonight. And the turning point of the game comes at the 3:53 mark of overtime. Leon Draisaitl, second of the night, 49th of the season, on the breakaway, assisted by Connor McDavid and Calvin Pickard. The boys talking about Mike Smith-esque, and Pickard, yes, indeed, very wily, sharp on his toes, recognizing what was going on, makes a quick play, and then McDavid to Draisaitl into the back of the net, past Ilya Sorokin. That is your Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Guys, I'm going to rattle off some questions for you coming in right now. Get into the conversation, 780-218-9999. Of course, Nasty Chat, do your thing. Naughty Possum, haven't heard from Naughty Possum in a little while. Good to hear from Naughty Possum. Says, we're dealing with a fragile team. You don't want to hurt their feelings right now. How fragile are they even after a win like this, guys? Whoever wants to take it, go for it.
Go ahead, Gus.
They're Christmas ornament fragile, Tom. Christmas ornament fragile.
Wait. Plastic or glass?
Glass.
Ouch.
Gee, that's such a good...
Well, they are.
Yes.
I mean, the win helps, but they are. I mean, you can't tell me this group's not fragile still. Like, you string together 4 or 5 wins and dig yourself out of this, then I'll be ready to say, I don't know, they've upgraded to plastic, or they're like a plush Christmas ornament that just kind of do whatever and it's going to be fine. But right now, no, it's they're still fragile, guys. Like they just listen to the post-game interviews from yesterday, and they'll be better today, but listen to them from yesterday. Like this is a group that's just a little bit lost still. So yeah, still fragile.
I have a question for both of you guys and our nasties. And it's probably the best question of the night, guys.
Okay.
Who gets the start on Sunday between the pipes?
Can I just say popular choice would be Calvin Pickard? I liked his game tonight. Cass, what would you say?
Yeah. Hey, he makes a play that wins the game in overtime.
Yeah.
So again, and I said this like a week or so ago, and I know Stuart Skinner's struggling, and I know still am a supporter of Stu Skinner. Still think he's taken a lot of heat unnecessarily, but with the team as a whole, right now for goaltending on out, defense as well, forwards as well, everybody, you want to have in who's going to give you the best chance to win, and who's actually playing to deserve to play. And Calvin Pickard tonight played well enough to deserve that game. So I would be putting him in.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'll play devil's advocate. And this is something Joaquin has talked about. He said, Pickard's your guy. Ride him. What kind of... Skinner's your guy. Ride him. Thank you. What kind of conversation do you think that coaching room is going to be having? Because it's supposed to be Stu, but Calvin played better. I don't think it's easy right now, especially with how Christmas ornament fragile, glass, not plastic, they are.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I get the argument. But as I said, hey, I am a supporter. I think Stuart Skinner has got, even in the last game, like, people ripping apart for some of those goals, and you're like, well, he quite literally couldn't see anything. And what do you expect? Well, I expect him to have see-through vision, X-ray vision, see through everything. But
X-ray J vision. He was here tonight.
X-ray J vision, yeah. But I get Gager's point, and to an extent, I agree with it. But I'm like, you still have time to ride him the last 15 games, 14 games, 13 games, whatever you need to. But it's like, you got to get your team out of this hole first. And because if the team around him isn't any better, you're still going to lose more than you win. And so, yeah, I respect Gage's opinion. I just don't agree.
But
you just hate Joaquin.
So where do we draw the line?
I hate his guts.
Where do we draw the line, boys? Because yes, like Gager's right. Skinner's your number one. And I know that's going to upset a lot of people on the nasty chat and on the inbox, but he is. But if Calvin Pickard continues to play like he's playing, is it even a conversation that he should get more games here, guys? Or, I mean, he played tonight because it was back-to-backs, let's be honest. And I agree with Cass. I don't think Skinner was terrible last night. He made some big saves, sure, but let's be honest, Chris Knobloch's number one guy is Stuart Skinner. As upset as everybody's going to be to hear that, but that's the truth.
I can't even argue that because it is supposed to be Stu Skinner. I think they will eventually go to Stu Skinner, but I mean, in this instance, you're trying to salvage this road trip, pick up another win, give yourself a breath of fresh air. Calvin Pickard was good, so I get the rationale for wanting to go to Calvin Pickard on Sunday against the New York Rangers because some similar situation to what's going on with the Islanders. Like, they're desperate, trying to hang on to whatever shred of playoff hopes they have. I don't know. Pickard looks like a guy who's feeling it. Stuart Skinner, not so much right now, but eventually you're going to need Skinner going because he's probably going to be your guy. What a conundrum. Okay, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Gazzola, Kassian, and Salas with you on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. I'm live on location. Boston Pizza Westgate. Great night in support of heavy hockey and the showdown, which goes tomorrow, which will be supporting SACE, which is the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. I think we've raised closer to $25,000, so another $5,000 today, which is great. $500 from BP Westgate. Curtis, Tony, and the crew here. Fantastic stuff. Here's a text that comes in, has a question for Cass. Do they look this way because of all the line juggling? Have the players not built up familiarity of having the same line mates for the majority of the season? And I think that's a valid question.
Yeah, I think it's a valid question, but I don't think it's the reason. I don't think it's a reason. Like, you can't tell me Ryan Nugent-Hopkins makes that play at the blue line because he's not comfortable with his line mates. Right? Like, you can't tell me that Zach Hyman hasn't been able to produce at his typical clip offensively because he's not used to his line mates. You can't tell me, well, Victor Arvidsson hasn't played at all like we expected him to play this season just because it's a new team and he's not used to his line mates. Like I get where at times that can cause hiccups, but to me that'd be a massive excuse. It would be a massive excuse for a team that just hasn't executed well. So, for all the line juggling, like we've seen almost every single combination, right? And most of them have had a good amount of minutes together. Like it's not like when they switch these up, generally it's not brand new. Unless it's Skinner actually getting a shift, like with McDavid, that hasn't happened at all, really. But for the most part, it's not like these are brand new. So I get where we could look at that, and people could look at that and say, hey, they're changing things up too much. There's no consistency, and that's a problem. And I understand the thought to it, but I think the reason you're having to keep changing things is because you keep struggling. Now, to say that they've gone to the nuclear option too much as a whole, and that has created issues with the rest of the lineup, I think that's fair. But to say that, they're not used to playing with one another at this point, I don't think that's it. I think it's, to say over concentration, sure, with McDavid and Draisaitl, I think that's a fair critique and criticism, too much of that. But yeah, it's not, guys, they've had enough time. They've had enough time. They should know how to play with one another at this point. Or am I just crazy? What do you guys think?
No, I mean, the way the lines have been juggled this year, they should. Like, everybody should be comfortable playing with whoever's on there. And guys, just of note, Zach Hyman only had 2 shifts in the third period after leaving in the first period for a bit. So it's something to monitor ahead of Sunday's game as well. So, Zach Hyman's a warrior. He's not going to miss a lot of shifts. And if he's missing a lot of shifts in the third period, it's for a reason. So just something to monitor as well.
Good point, Nan. So keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Okay, since we're on that, you brought up like Zach Hyman being nicked up and had a couple of shifts there. We knew he was banged up, I think, in the second period, right? That's when we kind of knew something was up.
First period, Tom.
First period, thank you. Where are we at with Zach Hyman's game? Where are we at with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' game? We brought up the not getting the puck in deep, and it goes back the other way. Bo Horvat buries that equalizer there. Do we have an explanation for their lack of offense and the drop-off, if you will, with their game? Because those are supposed to be 2 offensive pillars. Like, is there anything? Are we seeing tendencies, Cass? Can you read anything from their overall play that you're like, this is what's happening, and I get it, and all they need to do is A, B, and C, and it should be fixed? Or is it just an anomaly?
Well, it's kind of been from the start of the season, particularly for Zach Hyman, hasn't it? Like, where it's been from the get-go. And I wonder how much of it is just the shortened off season, having that shortened off season and that quick a turnaround and having to get right back at it. I wonder if just physically, they're not 25 anymore. They're not 26 anymore. I just wonder if the overall having to get right back into it, if that affected them heading into the season from a fitness standpoint, from a mental standpoint, everything. I wonder how much that affected them, because for both of them, those 2 guys as well, it's not like they've had deep playoff runs frequently over the course of their career. And I just wonder if that really impacted them. That's kind of where I lean to first, where it kind of starts with that. And then I think there's just a confidence thing that builds. Zach Hyman early in the year, he just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. 8 million opportunities, couldn't put the puck in the net. Goalies made some good saves on him, but just couldn't find it. And I feel it's like he's been trying to play catch up ever since. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I don't got a good answer for, because there's still some things defensively that he does well. He just hasn't found that gear. And I don't know what it is. That's a great question you ask. And Tommy, I don't have an answer for you.
I just want to say one thing. How dare you besmirch every Toronto Maple Leafs playoff run in the last 7-8 years with that comment about Zach Hyman and deep playoff run. I'm just kidding. I'm totally
sorry.
BSing. But, okay, we got this one from Sean that came in. Said Picks had a great game against Carolina, got the start the next night against Anaheim, or the next game, pardon me, against Anaheim. It's perhaps recency bias, but Skinner is in the next game. Signed, Sean. Makes a good point. The Oilers and Pickard were bad against Anaheim on the Tuesday last week following a nice win in Carolina. Does that weigh on the minds of the coaching staff?
Go for it, Hernan.
It's for anybody who wants it.
Yeah, because I keep going back to Gager. And I know he's my partner on the afternoon show. And I just don't want to agree with him. But like, there's something to what he's saying, because Skinner's your guy at game one, guys. Like, regardless of how poor he's playing or people want to ship him out of town and all that. And it's a good point. He was really good against Carolina, Tom, but they followed up with him in the second game and he wasn't very good, right? Like, he was pulled after the first period. So but at this point in the season, and you brought up the way Calgary and Vancouver and Utah and St. Louis are kind of coming, right? They're right behind the Oilers, and the Oilers are fighting with Los Angeles for home ice. I think at this point in the season, you got to go with the guy that gives you the best chance to win. And right now, it's very fresh, and I understand that, but I'd roll with Picker on Sunday.
You want to follow up to that, Cass, or you just agree and we move on?
I just agree. And again, I don't want to disparage Gager, although I hate his guts.
As one does.
Yeah, just typical. But Hernan, you said it. You said it, right? Like, if he is going to be the guy that gives you the best chance to win, and he's feeling it and has a little momentum, roll with the momentum, because you need to dig this team out of this hole.
All right, we got a great text that came in from Anthony on Long Island. Anthony on Long Island is in the inbox a lot. He's always listening, and he had a chance to go to the game tonight. If you didn't see it on our EST X/Twitter account, Anthony was there with his boy, had an EST sign wearing a Connor McDavid Erie Otters jersey and an Oilers hat, said, "Guys, I just left the game. I sat behind the bench. Pickard looked good. The rest of the team looked shaky and on edge." Yes, so Anthony on Long Island had a first-hand look at what we've been seeing here in Edmonton for the last little while. We got a few texts we want to get to. Nancito, do we already have some audio, or are we still waiting?
Working on it. Just the conversion from the YouTube video to get it on our site is it's acting up right now. So I'll let you know as soon as I have Leon. Unbelievable, this technology.
Okay, a couple texts that I laughed at when I saw them. One just says, "Dickheads, that guy's back. That guy's back." That guy. I don't know if there's a name on here, but every text that came in, this goes back to 1260, boys. It always ended with Richard Heads. So I think someone's feeling good and dropped us a Richard Head. I appreciate that very much. Dolphin Nation says, "Thank goodness for the win. I was worried Hernan was going to have an aneurysm at some point." That's from Dolphin Nation. Corey B had a great time, said he got the chance to talk to my dad. Someone said, "What happened to Hyman?" He got nicked up in the first period and then only played 2 shifts in the third. Hopefully we get an update from Chris Knobloch. Hernan's working on the postgame audio right now. Cal in the park chiming in says, "Guys, I don't see the excitement after tonight. There's no moxie/balls or want, which I believe is the coach's fault because of the nuclear issue/option. If things go bad, 4 forwards play the minutes." And yeah, this is something we've been talking about it quite a bit. We've tried to come up for new names for the nuclear option. Some people called it the last resort, the Papa Roach thing from the song. Others had other, like the Viagra line and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's become a crutch. And we'll see where this goes. Like, is there anybody that's showing you a little bit of spark that you might say, hey, that guy might drive a line. That guy might be able to provide something. Like, did we see any small inklings tonight or in the last couple of games cast from anybody? That face, if you're watching, says it all.
Yeah, it's a scrunched up face, very, very scrunched up. I think very clear to me that no, we haven't. I mean, Draisaitl puts the team on his back, did it again today. McDavid's still trying to find his way to get to McDavid's typical level. Still fighting it, but still the best player in the world. Corey Perry gives you everything he has. but he's almost 40.
Yeah.
Like, and no one else. Guys, there's not. Frederick, I hope. But
is that wishful thinking? Because I know the team struggles, people go and they look at Frederick more and more with wider eyes, and they're like, that's the guy. He's going to do it. That's a lot to ask for a guy who's never had to be the focal point of an offense. He was a complementary piece in his time in Boston. He was a good one for a couple of years, 17 and 18 goals. And I know they made the trade for him, but if you're looking at him salivating at the idea of him becoming an offensive dynamo, isn't that a bit of a wishful thinking type mentality?
Maybe. So this is, I'm not wishful thinking in that he's going to drive the offense. My wishful thinking is that he's going to enable McDavid to drive his offense again, and he's going to push depth down to hopefully maybe free up a little bit more offense in the bottom six. Like that's what I'm hopeful for. So it's not that he's going to go and, put him on a 40 goal pace once he starts playing here for the remainder of the year. I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe. But Tom, let us have some hope here. We got to have some hope.
I will let everybody have as much hope as they want. I just think trying to pin the fate of the offense on Trent Frederick is a bit much. Let's go to Shaggy in St. Albert, then we'll go inside the Oilers locker room. Following a 2-1 overtime victory on Long Island, Shaggy texting in says, the prediction of an 0-4 road trip falls, so 1-3 then. I think the Oilers have had 2-goal lead maybe once in the last month. When Oilers took the lead, they had no killer instinct. That power play at the end of the second period was a fail. 2-0 would have been enough against a low offense Isles team, but no Isles score right after successful PK. OT had basically a 3-on-2, could not finish. This team is the definition of fragile. Guess we are satisfied with the low bar of barely surviving overtime against a bad team. One thing for sure, Skinner would have never completed that pass to Draisaitl for the game winner. Pickard won the game for us both defensively and offensively.
Tommy,
signed Shaggy in St. Albert. Yes, Hernan.
Shaggy. Stat of the night. Calvin Pickard is the second goalie in franchise history to get an assist on an OT goal. The other, Mike Smith.
There you go. Trivia.
0% surprised.
Yeah.
0% surprised. All right, Cass, you get to stick around for a couple of clips, and then we'll look ahead to Sunday.
Yeah, hit the clips. I'll talk about Sunday, and then I'll dip.
I love it. Nanso, set us up.
Here's Leon Draisaitl, the hero, not only of the game, but of the season.
Point down the ice to Calvin Pickard. Can you just tell us what was behind in that?
I mean, his effort, his performance, and his pass. He started the whole play. It's great hockey sense. Goes unnoticed by a lot of people probably, but that's elite hockey sense right there. So he was obviously amazing all night.
How much did he give you guys a chance to win tonight?
Yeah, like I said, he was great. He gives us a chance every single time he's in net. So you can't ask for more than that. We love playing for him. I think that's very obvious, and just a bit of our heart and soul guy.
Not a bad way to get to 100, especially the meaning how meaningful that goal was and give you guys the win, eh?
Yeah, it's nice. It's individual, I guess, milestone, but the 2 points are much bigger than any other personal records.
And that's just, sorry, I was just going to say, and that's just it. I mean, how much can a win like this in that type of manner really propel you guys?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, we've been struggling, and we've been struggling to score. We've been struggling to defend hard and put points in the bank. And I thought for the most part tonight we were really good.
You felt like you guys created a lot offensively. The goals obviously didn't go in as much as you wanted with the frequency that you want, but did you see some signs there?
Yeah, I think we created a lot more. I agree. Sometimes, obviously right now it's not falling, it's not going in, but sometimes you need a game like that just to grind one out and get going.
Last one more time. Four times in a row now at 100 points, and 6 times in your career.
I'm going to get back in here.
What does that kind of, say to the type of teammates and the type of run that you've had as an Oiler here?
Yeah, I mean, I love being an Oiler. It means the world to me, and obviously having teammates that understand the way I am and understand me as a person, and sometimes obviously not easy, but I love these guys, and without them, none of this is possible. So these are all nice efforts and accomplishments for your personal self, but none of this ever works without your teammates.
I know you don't get a goal in the first, but just how important was that start, especially after last night?
Yeah, we were really good in the first. Their goalie made some really good saves, and I think it kind of kick-started our night a little bit.
Considering the 17 shots in the first, just how do you evaluate the 60-minute effort tonight?
Yeah, all around really good. Great road game, especially on a back-to-back. I think towards the end you could tell that our legs, disappeared a little bit, but sometimes you got to find ways to grind these out as well. So it was good. Yeah.
A couple different wingers tonight, in Brown and Perry. Moved around a little bit too, but what was it like playing with those guys?
Yeah, it was great. I love playing with both of them. I thought we created a lot of looks. It was really good.
You're leading the NHL in goals, obviously too early for the Hart conversation, but has the season felt like you've kicked into a different gear?
Yeah, I felt good all year. Some years it works better than others. That's just the way it is sometimes. And obviously this year it's gone my way so far. So looking to continue to work at it, and just keep getting better.
There's Leon Draisaitl hitting the century mark for a fourth consecutive season, his sixth 100-point season, you guys. He does it in 66 games.
Amazing.
His best year, having an absolutely tremendous year. His best year thus far is 128 points in 80 games back in 22-23. So he has 16 games to get 28, maybe 29 points. I'm not saying he can't or won't, but that'll be tough. Also, the way he answered that, guys, doesn't sound like he appreciates it, obviously, acknowledged it, but it isn't what he wants at this point. It's not, I'm a 100-point guy, I'm a 50-goal scorer, which he's soon to be. He's got 49. I think we can clearly tell that for him, the focus is on a Stanley Cup. A lot of work to be done, though. Anything that you guys take out of what Leon Draisaitl had to say? Cass, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just relieved they won, knowing that it was a back-to-back, and they were slowing down a little bit towards the end of the game. But yeah, hey, listen, he's going to say all the right things, and he knows that what he's supposed to say is he doesn't care. I can tell you that he cares. He does care about the 100 points. Those guys always do. They always care about the points. However, they're going to try to make it as minimal as possible when compared to the team, if they can, because he is a good guy and a good teammate, and he does want to win and wants the team to have success and wants to win a Stanley Cup, mostly to put on his own shelf. So, listen, he's happy that they won. I think relieved that they won, and I mean that's really about it. It wasn't a groundbreaking, headline-worthy type interview, I guess.
Hey, he's buying all the rounds tonight. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Everything's on him tonight. Leon Draisaitl hitting the century mark this season. Hernan, any takeaways for you from that one?
I just love happy Leon. He answers the questions thoughtfully, and he's feeling good. But you know what? I like that he's honest. We're not feeling good. We're not playing well. We can't score. But 2 points is 2 points, and maybe this can give him some confidence going into Sunday's game and all that. But what I like is that he's not just saying we played really well, and at least he's admitting to the team struggles and that they can't score right now. So I liked an honest Leon Draisaitl tonight.
All right, Leon Draisaitl, a couple of goals, gets to 100 points, and the Oilers have themselves a win, much needed. They were win deprived, or depraved, I should say, and we look ahead to Sunday at Madison Square Garden against a New York Rangers team that has had its fair share of struggle this season. The Oilers win tonight, but how much confidence should there be going into Sunday? Because we keep seeing the term fragile popping up, whether we're looking at the inbox or the nasty chat. Cass, what would you say going into Sunday?
Yeah, and it's going to be a very different game because you're going up against a team that's right there in the thick of it, of a wild card battle that is, capable of fantastic things but hasn't executed. Similar to the Oilers, at times this season, the New York Rangers, they just haven't played very well, but they're they're a team that should be much better than they are. Now they kind of continued to be okay. Haven't quite found their way, but for Edmonton, hey, listen, you're going to go up against a desperate team here, and I don't think that Edmonton's going to sit and be content with a win. Like, I don't think they're just going to be all fat and sassy and eating their soup on Sunday, like where they're just like, oh, this is just going to be a walk in the park type of game. But I hope that they are, from an intensity standpoint, ready for what New York's going to throw at them, because New York, they're fragile too. They are fragile too, trying to fight for that wild card spot. So it's an interesting game for me, because you have two teams, one who's just trying to dig themselves out of the hole and get ready for the playoffs, one who's just fighting for the chance to be in the playoffs, tied for points with one more game played than the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tommy, it's going to be an interesting situation heading into Sunday for the Edmonton Oilers.
Cass, people will be on edge. They will watch with a lot of intent and hope. And we'll see what happens at Madison Square Garden on Sunday. I can tell you this with certainty and confidence. You were great tonight, as always.
Thanks, buddy.
Cass.
Appreciate you guys.
Oh, you are the best. We'll see you on Sunday, my friend. Be well. Thank you for everything tonight. There's Matt Kassian, our game analyst, helping us break down Edmonton's 2-1 overtime victory over the New York Islanders. Leon Draisaitl playing the hero in what was a dicey game. Edmonton not getting a lot of offense once again. You can text us 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat. Gazzola and Salas with you. I am live on location at Boston Pizza, Westgate, 170th Street, 90th Avenue. We had the Heavy Hockey Showdown watch party.
You're still bumping there, Tommy?
Yeah, the ladies from the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton are still here. The silent auction was going strong. A lot of tables still going. There's X-Ray J in his Glue Crew sweater. He's stumbling around. He's having a great time. He's got a 6 o'clocker lager. Attaboy, X-Ray J. X-Ray J, give us a little thumbs up. Just a good thumbs up. There he is. He's happy. You love the goaltending tonight.
I love the Oilers.
He loves the Oilers. Okay, he's not going to make it into a fib and say he loves the goaltending. He's got his Glue Crew hoodie. Got a lot of signatures. There's X-Ray J making a cameo appearance. Hernan, are we going back inside the locker room, or do we have anything else that you want to get to first?
No, we can go. I got Coach ready to go.
All right. Let's hear from head coach Chris Knobloch following the Oilers' 2-1 victory in OT on Long Island.
Your goaltender and the guy who got the second assist on the game-winning overtime goal.
Yeah, Picks played really well, made some really nice saves. Obviously, not much action in the first period, which can make it really tough for a goalie. Sometimes they get out of it, but we needed him in the second with some big saves, and same with the third, and then obviously in the overtime. And what better way to highlight it with an assist on the game-winning goal?
Seems like for years you've been asked about Connor, and that's kind of changing a little bit with Leon. He gets to 100 in the fashion that he did. What do you think? What's kind of the next thing about Leon?
I've seen Leon just take control of his game. Like, he's always been a good player. He's always been dominant. Like, every night, one of the best forwards every single night, that's a star player. I think for me, I saw him just step it up even more, which is very surprising, just because when you're that good, it's tough to take any more steps. But when Connor was hurt, or the suspension, but more just at the beginning of the year, Connor got hurt in Columbus, and then he had to be the guy. We're missing Connor. I'm not sure exactly what he did for points at that time, but he really elevated his game, which we needed him to. We're missing the best player, and he really hasn't taken any games off. Maybe 2 off games since, I don't know what it was, that November 15th, so that's pretty impressive.
Seems like you move him around with a lot of different wingers. You got 2 different wingers tonight. Does that also kind of speak to how dominant he's been? Because he's doing it with a lot of different wingers that haven't produced quite as much as maybe at home.
Oh, absolutely. And there's, some secondary assists or primary assists, taken away. But, you look at other lines who, star players and who they got to play with. And, I don't want to take anything away from the players that he's playing with. And like certainly tonight, I thought Brown and Perry had very strong games. But he's not playing with guys who are making Olympic teams or all-stars. But it's a credit to him, obviously.
With the season winding down, Leon's name is being thrown around for the Hart Trophy. Just what's your take on that?
Absolutely. I can't see why he wouldn't be. He's been doing it all, not only a Hart Trophy, but, Selke Trophy, the defensive plays that he makes every single night. You look in the first period, the back check, he stripped the player with a puck and they go counter. I believe he set up Perry for a grade A scoring chance in the slot. He's been making those plays all season, and obviously you look at the goals for and against, mostly the points, the goals that he's getting, the primary assists that he's setting up. You often overlook the defensive plays he's making, but every single night he's making plays like that.
Maybe aside from the tying goal, what did you think of your team's collective defensive effort tonight?
I thought it was pretty good. You're never going to play a perfect game. You're always going to give up some chances, and you need your goalie to make some saves. And, for picks, I thought he played really well. A couple times we got puck at the blue line and didn't get it in. Obviously, that's what happened on the game-tying goal. But that's, good hockey teams play good defensive hockey. And, tonight I thought was much better than what we've had played.
Chris, last night, Brett Kulak was really quick to say that we won't be pointing any fingers when it comes to the frustration that they were feeling. Tonight, Leon Draisaitl is very quick to, commend his teammates for the fact that he's able to reach this milestone. How much does that mentality help this group, especially when maybe you're going through a rough patch?
Those guys, there's a lot of them who've been together for such a long period of time. And anytime somebody meets a milestone, whether it's a certain amount of games played, points, assists, consecutive 100-point season, whatever it is, guys are very excited about it. They're a close team, and whether it's a scoring title or their first NHL points, it's nice to see that our guys get very excited when those guys have those highlights of individuals' careers.
All right, that was a much relieved Chris Knobloch tonight after his team's 2-1 overtime win. Far cry from yesterday where things were not good, and he was chasing answers, trying to come up with something after a disappointing loss in New Jersey. I saw Shaggy in St. Albert via the Nasty Chat said, Leon Draisaitl looks like a young Stu Barnes. Stu Barnes, I had to look it up, product of Spruce Grove, Alberta, of course. Local product, was a really good player, played a long time in the NHL, but Stu Barnes capped out at 65 points in 97-98 with 30 goals, 35 assists. Leon Draisaitl will probably double that. Maybe not this year, but has almost doubled that in his career in a season. Draisaitl hitting the century mark, has 16 games to go. Stu Barnes, actually, in his last year in 2007, 2008, still put up 23 points in 79 games with the Dallas Stars. So great pull and excellent 1260 reference, Shaggy in St. Albert. Remember, the boys on the morning show would always talk about a young Stu Barnes?
Oh, yeah.
Classic. All right, keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. The Oilers get the win. A little bit shaky, a little bit dicey. They can't score a lot, it seems like these days, but they do pull off a 2-1 OT victory on the back of a young Stu Barnes, a.k.a. Leon Draisaitl. Let's get to the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. I have a feeling I know where this one's going. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He's community-driven. He understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. So check him out, www.damonbunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. And Hernan, let's go, girls.
All right.
You can hear it. You can hear it.
Said, it's yeah, it's pretty easy to select tonight. For the sixth time in his career, he hits 100 points. He's going to hit 50 goals for the fourth time in his career. He led the charge. He's led the charge all season long. 2 goals on the night, 24:07 time on ice, +2, 6 shots on net, 1 block. Mr. Leon Draisaitl is a Damon Bunting player of the game for the agency.
Nicely done, HernanSalas. Very good. And I like that Stu Barnes reference. Well played, Shaggy. Dick Venerette says so, Shaggy. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Max Bezuzu. Tommy seems the type that says, hey, girl, you dropped something. My number. Smooth. But I would never have the cajones to say something like that. Nick Sun is asking if Kane is actually skating. Yes, he is. But nowhere near a level where you could say he's close. Let's just put it that way. All right. I'll take a look at the inbox. 780-218-9999. Rip City Step saying, never doubted him. And then added, do you like my jukebox selections, Tommy? Are you even here? Step, I don't see you. I didn't even say hi to you.
I see Big Uke.
Big Uke's still here. He's got the whole Uke family. Tube Socks is still here. Michael's still here from Heavy Hockey. X-Ray J is having a nice time. Who else is still here? I don't see Rip City Step. Usually he pops by and says hi.
I don't think he's there today, Tommy.
Well, if you pick this music, nobody's complaining about it. I'll say that. Let's go to Library Pat, who says, a young Stu Barnes is a great Dick Venerate drop. Kudos to Shaggy. Library Pat. Jake from Ontario says, to reiterate, coach and players talk with much more confidence on Pickard than they do with Skinner. No, and you're right. Like, Jake from Ontario texted and said, guys, you never ever get this kind of talk about Skinner. Kind of seems like the team doesn't trust Skinner at all. Hicks is their guy. I don't know if I would take it to that extent. I think everybody understands that Stu Skinner is supposed to be their number one. Stu Skinner is their number one, but they get a good backup performance from Calvin Pickard. Calvin Pickard is a glue guy, and if they can give him some love, they will, and he deserves it. Listen, the guy's been solid all season. He's helped prop this team up in some difficult moments, and tonight was another one of those. But I wouldn't go and say, yeah, they want Pickard in there more than Stu Skinner. I disagree with that. I don't think that's the case, in my opinion. What do you think, Hernan?
I don't think so either. I think both guys are truly loved and respected and trusted upon. I mean, I just can't see guys going, we want Pickard, we want, that's not how it works. That's for the fans. Sure.
Yeah.
And listen, Stuart Skinner has a lot of people that dislike him, and sure, fair enough. He hasn't been good enough this year. Pickard's been good. Don't take anything away from him. I even said start him Sunday. But at the end of the day, I still agree with Joaquin. Skinner's your guy, and he's going to be your guy in the playoffs. So he's just got to deal with it. And whether you agree or not, that's just the case. And I mean, can Pickard get into some games? For sure, he did last year. He played 2 games against Vancouver and was really good, Tom. But at the end of the day, it's you gotta. And listen, Skinner wasn't bad yesterday, Tom. I mean, people love to pile on, and yeah, you want to save, but I mean, he was a part of it, but I don't think he was the main reason. The way this team is going, Tom, it's not one thing; it's a lot of things, and goaltending's one of it. Plain and simple.
Pickard's last start wasn't particularly great, by the way. Anaheim.
No, it wasn't. And now can he bounce back? And listen, I'll be honest, Tom, I have no idea which way Chris Knobloch's going to go. I truly don't. I don't know because they don't play against until Tuesday. They'll fly back Sunday night, probably Monday off day, morning skate Tuesday. So I have no idea which way he's going to go. I truly don't. But Skinner was good tonight. I'm not going to say he would sit here and he was great and oh my God. He was good. He helped.
Pickard was good tonight. Yes.
Gave him a chance to win, and that's all you want from your goaltender. Skinner, unfortunately, hasn't done that. And you need that from him. So, I don't know, Tom. I really don't know which way he's going to go on Sunday.
I'm going to guess Stu Skinner.
You think he's going to go with Stu?
Yeah. I can't remember who texted it in, but they mentioned Pickard gave them a great start in Carolina. They got that win, right, to avoid going 0-for on that 5-game Eastern Conference road trip. And then he starts against Anaheim, and you're going, he should have it. He should be all right. And they get absolutely blasted at home by not a great Ducks team. I can't say bad Ducks, not a great Ducks team.
And listen, and there's people that just, no matter what Skinner does, they're going to hate and whatever. It is what it is. But this team was the best team for 2 months, and Pickard and Skinner were a part of that. Both goalies were really good for this team. What's happened, and like I said, it's not all goaltending. Defensive play has been awful. They can't score. The line juggling is driving everybody crazy. So it's a lot of things. So we'll just leave it at that. I mean, no one's sitting here praising Stuart Skinner and saying he's the best goalie ever. All we're saying is
he's supposed to be their number one.
He's supposed to be, and we'll see who plays on Sunday. I think it should be Pickard.
Let the debate begin.
But just because I say that, Tom, doesn't mean I think Stuart Skinner is a terrible goalie. He needs to be better. Yes, he does. Pickard had a bad game against Anaheim. He was terrible, but he was good tonight, man. And at this point, a team that's trying to find their groove and trying to get some confidence, you might have to roll with the guy that's playing just a tad better right now, and that's Calvin Pickard, because this team's only won 5 of their last 15 games. Everybody has a part in it.
Jake from Ontario, who did bring up hey, does it sound like they're pumping up Cal Pickard more than Stu Skinner? Also added, I would just want to say I love Stu, and I hope they do stick with him. It's kind of messed up that we have to talk about these types of scenarios after game number 66. They did win tonight. They only scored 2 goals. They came from one guy. It's like, yeah, they won, but right, so, much to be desired, which is kind of messed up. I'll just end it with this from my point of view. I hope they iron whatever is ailing them out.
Sure.
I don't think it's as easy as just say. Like, I think they really have to put in some work to get this sorted out, exercise whatever demons are haunting them right now. But there are a lot of issues. This team doesn't score. They don't look dangerous offensively. The guys who are veteran NHL guys just look like they're out there and not really doing what they're known for.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's not how it's supposed to be. However, they still find ways to get the results. Is it different every night? Generally, yes. But there is always a backbone and a theme, and it is generally Leon Draisaitl accompanied by Connor McDavid. You need some of these guys to chip in at some point. You really, really do. Wake up, smell the roses, and make it happen.
Leon's been outstanding. Like, there's nothing to say about him. He had that one rough game, Tom. I can't remember. We were trying to talk about it there, I think, in the first intermission. I can't remember what game where he was really bad, but we were like, we gave him the pass because he's been so brilliant.
I think it was Anaheim.
It was the Anaheim game. Correct. So, interesting times, Tom. Can this team find another win on Sunday? Let's hope so. Hopefully they can score a lot more, and we'll see what Coach Knobloch does with the lines here and who he selects as his goaltender for Sunday. But never a dull time here in Edmonton, even after.
Yes.
Is it would you consider this a win, kind of a lackluster win? You're like, hey, you got the 2 points, but you still went to overtime with one of the not a very good team. Is that the way we look at it?
This win tonight is a relief. Nothing more, nothing less. A relief.
Let's just take the 2 points and go home.
Take the 2 points, get out of Dodge. Leon's paying for everybody's tab tonight, and then regroup for Sunday at 5 o'clock our time against the New York Rangers at MSG. We're on the air at 4 p.m. with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Myself, Hernan, and Cass. Tomorrow, we're at the Downtown Community Arena for Hello Hockey starting at 10 a.m. We'll be live on location. We've got Brian Burke joining us. Berkey, we'll talk about truculence and all those things that the Oilers lack on forward and in general throughout their lineup. And we'll also hear from David Pagnotta. We're looking forward to that. A huge shout out to everyone who came out today in support of the Heavy Hockey Showdown here at Boston Pizza Westgate. Big thank you to Michael, Dash, Patrick, the crew from Heavy Hockey, as well as Faith, Tony, and Curtis. The guys and ladies here at BP Westgate donated $500 towards the Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. SACE had their funding cut by the provincial government, and we're looking to help kind of mitigate some of that and some of those shortfalls. So big thank you to everybody who supported. Go to our website, edmontonsportstalk.com. The header there will have HH Showdown if you want to support. We really appreciate it. We'll be live there tomorrow at the Downtown Community Arena. The game is at noon. For HernanSalas and Matt Kassian and Reed Wilkins, who joined us for a bit today, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hit that thumbs up on your way out on YouTube. The Oilers win it 2-1 in overtime. Draisaitl 100 points yet again. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.